Welcome back. Today's guest, Macy Neely, CEO of Baby Mama.
Well, I'm just excited to have you. So I'm Cassie. I'm VP over here at Volcanic Retail.
I'm Emma, Cassie's right hand.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I've been at Volcanic for a year and a half. She's been here forever, but this is really about you. So tell us
So excited.
who you are, what you're about, where you're from.
Yes, of course. So I'm Macy. I grew up in Orange County, California. So I'm actually not from here originally. And I grew up with a big tennis family. So I have two D1 tennis sisters. And I was just kind of like next in line as the baby of the family. Just kind of got thrown into it.
Yeah.
And so I basically came to Utah because I went to BYU to play tennis for them. So came here for college and then kind of ended up staying. And yeah, it's kind of how I got here, I guess.
I love it. Yep. Our stories are almost identical. So just know that. I'm from La Jolla.
Oh my gosh, no way.
Yeah, so almost identical. But so I'm excited to hear more. So BYU, and then you graduated.
Yeah, so it's actually an interesting story. I became a single mom when I was at BYU.
Okay.
So I went for a tennis scholarship. Long story short, got pregnant, left for a hot second, came back to tennis with my son and like finished out my tennis career.
You go.
And all the
That's
things.
awesome.
Yeah. So I graduated, and it's funny when I first went to college, I just like didn't take it seriously. Like I was like, I'm here for sports. Like I'm gonna be a tennis player, and then I'm gonna be like a housewife. Like I'm not planning on having a career. And then I became a single mom, and honestly it was probably the best thing for me because it really woke me up, and I was like, I'm gonna have to get a job so I can like support my family, you know.
You gotta grind, right?
Exactly.
You gotta figure it out.
And so I went from like not going to class ever to like doing super good. Like I never got below like a 3.7 after that because like I actually tried and like went to school, you know. And it became kind of fun actually. So I knew I wanted to have a career at that point. It actually motivated me more. I had to try so hard to like get good grades and like also go to tennis practice and be playing matches. Like it was a grind, but I definitely had a good support system behind me. And so yeah, like college was crazy for me.
I love this. So you're self-made. You figured out, you bootstrapped, and you did it.
Yeah, I did. I mean, like I said, I definitely had a good support system, so I can't take all the credit. Like I couldn't have done it without like my family behind my back and helping with my son. But yeah.
I absolutely love this. I love this. And I hope that you're proud of yourself because that's a big deal.
Yeah,
it's a big deal.
Sometimes it's hard to be because I'm very self-critical.
Yes.
And I always expect more.
Well, and I totally get that. Yeah. So we graduated. And then how do we get the ideas? What are you doing now? All of it.
Okay. So once I graduated, I met my husband during this time. And when I graduated, he was still in school. And so I was working at an advertising agency. And during that time, I was like, this is great and all, but like I want to do something else on the side. And so I started social media. I started a blog, which like isn't really a thing now, but back then I was like on the tail end. Like blogs were starting to go away, but it was still like a thing. And I basically did a blog of like my life story, kind of what I told you, becoming a single mom and some other challenges I faced. And that did well for me, and it did pretty good. And I got like my first 10,000 followers on Instagram. And I was like, okay, like how do I make a career out of this? Because like I want to make money doing this now. And I kind of became an influencer without trying to or like wanting to, because I feel like influencer has a bad ring to it. I don't know what it is. Like people just don't like influencers. And I feel like it just kind of happened naturally for me. And so from there I was still at my job, and then I went to Goldman Sachs for a couple of years, and I was working there while still doing social media. And yeah, like eventually it just turned into something more, and I was making more money on social media than in my corporate job. And so I was like, why am I working corporate if I'm making more money doing social media? And I wanted to spend more time with my kids because by then I had another kid. And yeah, that's kind of how the career took off on social media.
I love this. So I want to dive deep with social media. What was the beginning stages like? Like how did it start? You said it kind of happened organically, if you will.
Yes. So like it started the blog and just like posting pictures of my family, like telling my story. And then I think it was like end of 2019, people were starting to use like TikTok. I'm like, what is this? This is interesting.
I love it. Yeah.
And I made an account just because I wanted to watch like funny videos or something. And then during the pandemic, like I think it was right before it started, I was doing IVF to get my daughter. And I like posted a random video that I just had sitting in my camera roll, and I didn't post it like for a reason, because I knew I was gonna get mom shamed for it because my son like swearing, but it was so funny.
No. It's so funny when they swear.
I know.
Like, it's so naughty, but it is so funny.
Yeah.
So funny.
And it was a hilarious video. Like he hits a baseball and he says like bitch. I don't know if I should swear on here, but yeah. So it was funny. Like it was a hilarious video. And then it shows like my husband like putting his hands like on his head, like he's like disappointed. Like it was just a hilarious video. And so I was like, I was bored. I was doing IVF. I was kind of sad. And I was like, let me just post this for fun, you know? And it went viral. And I had never had a video go viral before, right? On like social media. And it got like, I think it had like 10 million views, and like all the accounts like Barstool, and then we're trying to pick it up, you know, 'cause it's like a funny video. And so that was my first taste at like something where I was like, whoa, like maybe I should keep posting on here. Like maybe this will be like the new Instagram, as far as like you get into Instagram late, it's hard to grow kind of thing. Like what if I get it now on TikTok and then I can grow, and then like, you know, that's how it goes. Get it now and then you don't regret it later kind of thing. And so I did, and I just kept posting on TikTok like twice a day in the very beginning, maybe once a day, like while working my job during the pandemic. I remember making TikToks like while doing my job on the computer, like on online in between meetings. But it was just really fun. And so from there, it obviously just eventually did really well. It hit like 1 million. I think right now I'm at like 1.3 million followers on TikTok. And it turned into a good career for me. It made me good money, and it like started, you know, circulating over to Instagram, because Instagram wanted to compete with TikTok, and then they're doing reels, and then like the reels start going viral and stuff. So kind of just circulating content on both platforms and kind of growing from there. And yeah, that's kind of how it started doing well.
That is amazing. For listeners, how did you get those brand deals? Like how did you actually start to make that transition and as to how did that start?
I'd be curious of like how, like, do you turn down brand deals anytime? Like where, like how are you picky with them? And because it's two ways, it's the brand and it's you. And so like how do you pick a brand that you're comfortable with?
Yeah, of course. So I think when it first started, like when I started growing and I had like 12K, 15K, I was like, I think I can like at least get things like for free and stuff. So I think my first like biggest accomplishment was when I was pregnant. I got a deal with Nuna, the stroller brand. Amazing. And I was obsessed with them. I was like, oh my gosh, if I could do this, I've made it. And like I didn't get paid for it, but I just like wanted a stroller and a car seat so bad. And like me and my husband, like he just got out of school, you know, so it's not like we were making a ton of money then. And I got a deal where I just had to like show the product in 3 TikToks. Like I didn't even have to be like doing an ad. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing ever. So I was like learning how to pitch. I took like one course on like pitching and stuff, and I just kind of took like a template and kind of filled in myself to make it, you know, more authentic or feel my voice. And I feel like from there, even now, I've gotten like really good at pitching brands and like using my social following and knowledge to help me, because I also did corporates. I know marketing and advertising in a sense, you know. So I just got used to pitching brands. Then eventually when I got bigger on social media, I had a management company reach out and they like wanted to manage me. And I was like, well, honestly, this will save me a lot of time. Like I can take more time making content and growing and not focusing on having to pitch, because you're having to grind for email addresses, you're sending the pitches, you're customizing each pitch. Like you can copy and paste, but you're still going to have to make this like pitch personal to the brand, or else they're going to not want to work with you. So so then now it's all my management. I will still pitch brands if I want something for free. Like if I really like want a certain thing, you know, like my management doesn't have any incentive to get me free stuff because they're not making money. So I'll still pitch myself for like stuff that I really want for like my house or whatever it is. And it's awesome. But yeah, as far as turning down brand deals, I definitely actually turned one down last week. It was for like an Instagram story set, and it was actually a decent rate, and I turned it down because when I clicked on the link, it was for like a sex brand. Oh no. And like I'm very open, I'll talk about that stuff, but this was more like an ethical porn site, and I was like, this does not fit my brand. I will not be promoting this.
But that's cool, because that just comes back to like you knowing your audience. And like I know the retail side, right? So I look at the buyers, and the buyers looking at all of their end consumers, and they're like, this product doesn't fit for my end consumers, and my end consumers trust me. And for you, it's that same kind of mindset of like, if they got to trust me. So I think that's great, whether it's that brand or whether it's another brand. I think that's awesome. Yeah.
So you have to be somewhat picky, or like if brands aren't giving me the rate that I'm like, I'm worth, then I'm like, no. Like even if it is like a few $1,000s, I'm like, not worth it, because like if anything, that's just gonna make my engagement go down. Because every time you're like you're posting an ad, like your engagement's going to go down. It's just natural. People know.
Right.
And so I'm like, I rather lose the money than do that. Even if it's like if it's a brand that I really love, they'll still do it for low cost. And I did one last year, which was like, this is like half my rate that I would charge. But I'm like, I'll do it because I spend so much money on your products that I'll just get my money back for the products I've bought from you.
Right. Well, and then your end consumers will trust you, right? Like your followers, I should say followers at this point, but they'll trust you on that. So that's really great.
Yeah. So you do have to be picky because again, like people aren't going to trust you if you're promoting stuff that you'll never use, you know? So like I try to be very picky when I do get an ad. Like that one I got last week, I was like, no, I'm gonna this is good money, but like I'm not doing this. So yeah.
And I appreciate that as like a follower. Like especially when people are open about these brand deals, especially like through Prime Day or like the chaos of Prime Week. And the influencers that came out and said like the reality, like don't actually buy this or buy this. This is an actual good deal. So I appreciate those that like read who their audience actually is and you do that. So.
Yeah, no, you definitely have to because then you're going to have no trust. They're not going to buy anything that you're selling. And the hard part too is that like since people do promote products that they don't actually use, it makes sometimes people get perceptions that, oh, all influencers do that. Yeah. And so I have a deal coming up that I was like so stoked about because I'm like, it's a foundation I've been using for 10 years. And I'm like, oh my gosh, but I'm like, how do I make it so people like trust this, you know, because I'm like, I actually love it. I use it every time. I'm wearing it right now, like, you know what I mean? And so it's so hard though because I'm like, I hope people believe that that's like this is true, you know? And so I'm like, I want this to be like the best ad because like I love this brand. I've spent so much money on foundation over the years, and so it's tricky though because like you do get people who promote things just for money, and you know, I may have done it once or twice when I was first starting out. I can't remember which brand, but I probably did. I don't know. Like I was like trying to get $1 or $2 in the beginning. I was like, this is cool, like, you know. Right. So yeah, but you got to be very picky, I would say too, because we live in a world now where like a lot of people are influencers. So
right.
Yeah.
But I think that's cool that you know what you want to represent and what you want to do and focus on and spend your time on, really, right? Like you're a busy lady. You have 2 kids, right?
Yes, I have 2 kids.
So you have 2 kids. And that's busy. So you're doing it all. You're doing it all. And you have now created something. Will you tell us about this too?
Yes.
I'm like, so not only does she have all of this stuff going on, you've invented something too. Holy moly.
Yeah, no, life is busy, but I still feel like I'm not doing enough like every day. I'm like, I'm so lazy. Like I think it's just like my mindset. It's so bad. I need to be better about that. So this is Baby Mama. It's just like, I've been working on it for so long. I'm so excited. I just launched it in March. And basically what it is clean gummies for women. So they're like non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan, like no artificial sweeteners, colors. Because I'm like kind of a crunchy mom, although I will have my Diet Coke every day. So it's kind of like you pick and choose, you know?
When you say crunchy, I might need you to define this for me. So crunchy, like I think that like hippie? I take that as maybe I'm old.
I'm feeling old right now. No. Like it kind of is like hippie. It's more just like I'm weird about like certain products that I use, like so clean products,
organic,
health, organic.
Yeah, organic, like clean, like no artificial colors and sweeteners, like stuff like that. Like
and I wanted to like also make sure that maybe there's people my age.
No, no, totally. Like
no, that's great though. Okay, so crunchy, more healthy, organic. Yeah, I mean, like everything that you focus on, ingredients. I love this.
I'm like I have a lot of health anxiety, and so I think that's where it comes from. Is that like I am weird about products as I've gotten older because I didn't realize there's so much junk in the products, not only that we eat, that we put on our face, like our serums, our lotions, like so many different things. And so I feel like I've become so much more aware in the last couple of years.
Absolutely.
And it's scary what's in our products.
And well, and my son, he's on the spectrum, and so we have to take out all the dyes, all of the, and it's tricky to figure that out. So I think that it's really, really cool that you've created something like this. Especially when you grow up
on it. Like I grew up on Flaming Hot Cheetos. Like and like the Fruit Loops and all the
Doritos.
Things.
I can't eat Doritos.
Oh yes. And now I'm like a weirdo about it. Like my son wants something, I'm like, that's red, you can't have it. I'm like,
red for you.
Ew, I'm so annoying. But like
Diet Coke's okay.
100%.
But Diet Coke's okay. Because we pick and we choose our battles.
Absolutely.
And so my hardest battle is food. So like I'm like, I can control what lotion I use, what makeup I use, you know, what like gummy vitamins I use. And so that's why like when I was doing this one, I was like, I want it to be like as clean as it can be without tasting like complete garbage. And so that's what we did. It has like a little bit of organic cane sugar in it, but I'm like, I will take that over a synthetic sweetener any day.
Expand your team's skill set and drive conversions. Volcanic Retail University offers specialized courses to keep your brand ahead in the retail game. Go to university.volcanicretail.io and apply code podcast50 for 50% off.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we have Fertile Mama, Prego Mama, and New Mama. And
okay.
Fertile Mama is for your journey of like preconception. So like you want to get your body full of vitamins and nutrients, and it has chasteberry in it, which is known to promote fertility. But what people don't know is that you can take Fertile Mama even if you don't want to get pregnant, because it's also good for anyone with a period. So it's good for PMS symptoms like headaches, mood swings, irritability, all the breast tenderness.
Yeah.
Yes. So people don't know that, because sometimes people are like, fertile mama, but I don't want to get pregnant. And I'm like, no, you don't. It's not just for that.
Yeah.
Like, so
overall, like women's health. And
yes.
every part of your journey,
yes,
right?
exactly. And then Prego Mama is obviously for our pregnant moms. Like I could still take it even though I'm not pregnant, and it wouldn't like, you know, do anything. But like what's cool about that one is it has raspberry in it, which is known to like tone the uterus and help hopefully give you a less intense contractions and birth and a quicker birth. So like each of our products has like certain ingredients that are specifically formulated for the stage you're in. Like New Mama is for postpartum, so it has ingredients that help with like lactation and like digestion and like nausea and different things like that. So each one is like specific to where you're at. And when I did it that way because when I was going through IVF, and I was like, there's nothing that's like specific to where I'm at. It's just like, oh, take a prenatal, like go to the store and grab a prenatal. Right. So I was grabbing a prenatal and I was like, this isn't great. Like it had all this synthetic stuff in it, you know, and then when I did take pills my first pregnancy, I'm like, this is horrible. These are horse pills and these make me sick.
Hard. Yeah.
So I was like, that's kind of how it started. I was like, there's nothing that's specific for like the stage that I'm in. And like after you have a baby, they're just like, just take your prenatal. And I'm like, there should be like specific ingredients for me, like for this. And so that's kind of like where it came from. I was like, I need something for where I'm at now. And that's what I wanted to do. And then like when I was creating it, which was in, I think it was the end of 2021 was where the ideas were first coming, there wasn't anything like it. Right. And so I still don't think there's anything like it for gummies. There might be for pills, but I hate pills. So
well, they hurt your stomach.
They
and
do.
You're already, when you're expecting or trying, like there are already so many things that you don't feel well.
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
And so do they hurt your stomach when you eat them? And no, not at all. Okay.
No, I've taken these on an empty stomach. I've never had an issue. I mean, maybe people are more sensitive, but I've never had the issue, and I definitely did with pills. And with pills, not to crap on them or anything, because there's certain brands that are great too, but like the outer shell is hard for your stomach to digest as well. So when you're taking a gummy, it's a lot easier to digest, and girls with tummy issues know the feeling of
those irons
oh my gosh
me, like so bad every time. It was just,
horrible.
You just can't get through your day if you eat it on an empty stomach, and if you don't know that, then you're even more like
with my second pregnancy, I was low in iron and I had to take it, and I was like, I just stopped taking it. I'm like, I can't do it, because I'd take it at night even and still wake up in the night with a stomach ache. So it's like, it's hard.
It's so hard.
Being a woman is hard.
It
is. And how do you transition from like say from somebody who's trying obviously to conceive, and then as soon as you are pregnant, if you are trying to get pregnant, do you take the pregnancy one? Like what are all the stages?
Yeah, so like for example, with Fertile Mama, I would probably take it a few months before I want to conceive, because it has all the, like, even if you're not trying to conceive too, it has all the necessary vitamins. It'd be like an amazing multivitamin with like benefits for your reproductive system. And so I would take that at least a few months before trying to conceive, and then like switching over when you get pregnant. Like you could still take Fertile if you're pregnant. It's not going to do anything to harm you. But I would switch over to Prego, and then once I had my baby, I would switch over to New Mama, which is our postpartum gummy, because that one I think would be great too for postpartum, because it specifically has stuff to help with lactation and all that jazz. So just the joys of being a mother, lactating.
And you've mentioned a lot of like your pre-pregnancy journey. What about what was your postpartum journey like?
Yeah, my postpartum journey, that's where I was like, why is there nothing for after postpartum? It's like, just take your prenatal. And I'm like, but my prenatal like wasn't very good.
Postnatal,
like I need something for this. Like I need something to like, I mean, I'm not saying that it's going to help with your hair loss, but we've had people say that after taking it. So like certain things like that where it's like, I need something to specifically help me. And I didn't have that. And so that's why I wanted to create it, because I'm like, there is nothing like this out there.
And it's so important because you don't feel great.
No.
It takes a really long time to feel like yourself again.
Yeah, and who takes care of the mom once they have the baby? People will come to visit you and they want to see the baby, but no one's like, let me come see you, you know? And so like that's also the thing with Baby Mama is like I want it to feel like a community for women. I want it to feel safe. I want it to be sex positive. Like I don't want anything to be too taboo. Like so I feel like we're a little on the edgy side because that's just how I am. Like nothing is too much information for me, I think. So that's how I want my brand to be.
I love that. I think that is absolutely, it sounds like who you are.
Yeah.
And so that's really cool that you've gotten this idea. And I think that it's very unique. It's really cool. So what do you vision for the brand next? Like where are you guys at? What's going on that front?
So when we did launch, is what I'll say is that like, it has been a whole new journey for me doing a physical product. Like I know influencer marketing, all that inside out. Physical product is a whole new ball game for me. So I'm still learning so much, and like we self-funded too. So it's been like a slow grind because like we don't have a big investor to just be like, let's just throw ads out. Let's like get the name out. Like, so it's been a slow process of trying to get the name out. Even though I do have a big platform, it's like, I don't want to just be pushing my product nonstop, you know, because that would be annoying. Like people don't follow me just for like my gummies. So it's definitely been like a slow grind, and we launched really quickly, mainly because I was in the middle of filming a reality show. So we basically launched it when we did because I wanted it on the show. Yeah. And so I barely made it in time. It was the last week of filming, and so I was able to launch it so fast. Like I got the physical product in my hands the day before we launched. Like that's how close the timeline was.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So trying to plan like a launch party, because I did an influencer launch party. Mm-hmm. Trying to plan that while filming a reality show was just like chaos. Like
so not only do you have a physical brand, you have 2 kids,
a whole influencer,
and then a reality show at the same time.
Yeah.
And you say that you're not busy enough.
I was going to say, or that you need to be doing more. Yeah, we need.
You're not doing
I think it was just the way I was raised. It's like I feel like.
But it's this reoccurring theme. Like you just said it when you said you're self-funded for your brand. Like you, and in the very beginning of your story today, it was so beautiful to me because you've bootstrapped. Like you have figured this out, and you're figuring it out, and
definitely lost some hair from it.
My gosh.
Some other things.
You have a gummy. You have a gummy.
I'm like, hurry, open that up.
Can we get that all around?
Yeah, so it's definitely been a learning journey too, but we launched it super fast for the show. So we never really had a lot of time to put into like the marketing and stuff. And so I feel like I'm playing catch up right now, trying to create content and like do everything because like we don't have employees, you know? So it's like kind of doing everything on your own and like testing things, like what's going to hit, like what should I focus on, you know?
Right.
And balancing that and also trying to keep up the social media career because I need that income. Like that's how I support my family. Like that's how I got the money to start the business.
Right.
So it's definitely hard balancing it. And like I'm still learning as I go. And so my hope obviously is that, you know, it grows into something more, and like I'm hoping I can launch more just general women's supplements. Like my dream too is to do this is so funny, but a UTI gummy because I suffer from UTIs, and so I would love to have a gummy for that. Currently I take pills for it and they help, but I'm like, I hate taking these 3 pills every night. I want a gummy because they taste good and they make me happy.
Right.
And so that is my dream, is to expand into different products and go from there and just be like a general women's health line. So that's the dream.
You've mentioned a few things that are like sparking my attention.
Yeah.
You mentioned testing. How and building this product on a time crunch. How did you source the product? How did you go through the testing of having like the testing for a vitamin or any supplement is tricky. And then how do you source that? How do you know it's a good sourcing? Because it is a foundation of trust, right? So how did you do it?
Yeah. So we have been like working on this for a while. So even though we launched really quick, like the actual formulation, everything in the testing was all done like a year and a half ago. It was more just like, you know, getting the funding, getting the branding right. Like that's what took so long. To be honest, it was like finding the right size labels and fitting it on the freaking bottle. We had a lot of issues like working with our manufacturer, getting that right for some reason. There was some kind of confusion there for a while. So the actual product itself was actually like already formulated and everything, like good to go. And it wasn't like it wasn't that hard. It was hard, but I have a co-founder, and he was also like, he works in formulation. This isn't his first supplement company he's launched, and he also has a background in women's studies. So that was obviously very helpful. So working with our manufacturer that we found and just working on getting it to taste right, that was what was hard because it is clean. And the first time I got the gummies back, I was looking at the ingredients and they tasted like really, really good. And I was like, what the heck? I looked at the ingredients and they put corn syrup in it. And I was like, no, we cannot have corn syrup in it. So we had to send back and reformulate. And so then we had to do one more reformulation action or postpartum gummy because I tried it. I'm like, this has a weird aftertaste. And then so it took a few rounds of reformulation to get it to not only taste right, but be clean. And so it was definitely tricky, but we do have like our manufacturer is good. And like I said, my co-founder, he has like a background in this. So like this isn't his first rodeo, and he actually does like consulting for companies to go into these manufacturing facilities to make sure they're all up to code and like all these compliance things. So like that was what was nice, is that like he kind of got to handle that stuff, and I'm more forward facing in the brand, like being like, hey, I want this to do this and be clean, and I also want to do this for the branding. And so it's nice because I get to do the things that I'm like an expert at, and he's getting to do the things that he's an expert at, and so it comes together as like a good team.
I love that. So as a brand, if you have an idea, how did you find someone like that? How did you know that they were the right fit?
Yeah. It's actually kind of just like happened naturally, which is so funny. So at my last corporate job, he was the VP of marketing and compliance. And so it kind of just so happened that, you know, I've always wanted to start something like this, and he would have the background in it. And then he saw, oh, you have a great social following too. Like, wow, like what if we did something together? And I was like, okay, I've never thought about having like a partner in something, like besides maybe like my husband, but we don't work well together. And so me and him just had like a very eye to eye view on what we wanted, even down to like social media, like my vision and different things like that. And so I think it just all kind of came together naturally. And like a lot of times that doesn't happen. Like he was my boss. And so like, I feel like it doesn't always happen that like your boss wants to work with you on like a brand, you know, but it all just came together so naturally and authentically. In our favor, I guess.
Really cool. And so it was meant to be then.
Yeah, you know? Like right place, right time, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
No, that's really, really cool. I think that's amazing. I would love to know how do you balance everything?
Oh gosh.
How, you know what I mean? There's so many things going on. What are some like tips and tricks that you do to balance everything?
If you love supporting women in business like I do, then you have to go check out what the ladies at Ivy City Co. are doing. They design high quality apparel for every age and every stage of life. We're talking dresses, matching outfits for the whole family, wedding wear, and more. As seen on celebrities like Serena Williams and Joanna Gaines, this brand is well loved for a reason, and they offer a wide array of sizes from newborn to women plus sizes. And they have a great discount code for our listeners. Use code WARGAMES20 to get 20% off at ivycityco.com. One more time, WARGAMES20 for 20% off your order at ivycityco.com.
It's hard because I feel like I don't. Like, I feel like I'm so bad at balance. But then when people look on the outside, they're like, how do you do it all? And so I'm like, I'm still figuring that out. I think it's just like me and my husband have like a Google Calendar that we live off religiously. And so like, because now so for a while I was actually the sole provider for us. And now he just went back to work. And so now for me, I'm really trying to work on balancing because I have the kids 95% of the time now. And I'm like, this is like really hard again.
Yeah.
And so I'm working on balancing, but I think it's just like for me, my daughter still naps. So when she naps, it's like, okay, we're making content. We're doing video where it's like quiet, you know, during the day. I usually try to do like an activity or something with my kids and then being like, okay, like right before I left, they were playing in the backyard. So I was like, okay, we're good. You know? So I think right now it's just kind of like taking your times where your kids are busy or sleeping to get your stuff done. And then when they're asleep at night is when we really get to work.
Yeah.
But I also like to manage a little self-care. Like I'm a girl who has like a strict shower routine, nighttime routine. So like we also have to fit that in. And I'm a night owl. So I like to get stuff done at night. I think that's when my brain starts like working the best. Yeah. During the day, I get mom guilt. And I'm like, I should be in the backyard with her, you know?
Mom guilt is a real thing. It really is.
It eats me alive.
You should create a supplement for mom guilt.
I know.
If you could do that, that would be great.
It's called an antidepressant. I'm kidding.
I've got to get all this done. I'm sorry. I love you.
It's so hard. Like there are days where you're just going to have to turn the TV on for a couple hours. Yeah. Like definitely have days like that. And then like a lot of times I'll try to go to like Target and like find like, okay, like new Play-Doh set, like, or like a drawing thing, painting, and just knowing you're gonna have to clean up a huge mess at the end of the day on top of working is just what you gotta have to do. You gotta do the sacrifices.
Yeah.
And my son is almost 9, and so now he's into sports. Like over the weekend, he had 8 games in 2 days. So trying to balance that has been a whole new rodeo.
What
baseball and basketball.
Oh, those are fun ones though.
They're
you
so
can have
fun.
your Diet Coke.
Oh my gosh,
and you can
yes.
sit in the field and
yes,
just,
I'm
like,
in the
watch
shade.
Yep.
However, I got the biggest. You can't really tell too bad, I don't think, but I got a huge sunburn over the weekend.
Oh, no.
So I was in the shade, and I was like, I'm fine. I'm in the shade. Had no makeup on or anything because my makeup has SPF. I didn't have it on. I was like, I'm fine. I'm in the shade. Friggin' lobster face, and I'm like, how? I'm like, I haven't been this sunburned since I was a child. Like where your nose gets sunburned. I'm like, this is crazy.
Oh man.
So
the UV was really high this weekend.
Yes,
I did look
it
at
was
that
very
yesterday. It
hot.
was really, really high.
Yeah.
It was hot.
But as far as tips and tricks, I'm trying my best to just survive. So other than that, take your time when they're asleep and when they're busy, because I wish I knew the golden answer.
Yeah.
I wish I knew.
Maybe there isn't one. It's just always doing your best, and I think that you're doing a stellar job. So
thank you. I'm trying.
I love it. I love it.
Just to kind of wrap things up, how can we purchase your brand?
Yes. So you can find them online. It's www.babymama.co.
Okay.
I feel so weird spelling that out like that. I don't know why that sounded so
It
weird.
sounded great though.
Yeah, you said great.
Okay, I'm like, why did that sound so gross? I'm like, www dot. Like, I don't know why I hated that.
No, it was perfect.
Okay, yeah.
So babymama.co.
Yeah, that's where it's at, where you can find it. We also are babymama.co on all social media. TikTok, all social media. We do TikTok and Instagram right now. And that's all run by me. I'm trying my best, you know?
You're doing great.
It's hard to
You gotta give yourself more credit.
I'm
You're
like,
doing it.
it's hard because I'm like, I don't think people are going to want to see me in every TikTok video. Like I need to get some other people to be in these videos.
Fun, though.
Well, you
so
have
if
a good
help. Call me.
I'm
will
gonna call
totally
you
help
up.
however you need.
Yes, I've been
that's
trying to
amazing.
recruit my friends. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna interview you for this video, but then it's like the interview with the same people every time. I'm like, it's fine.
You have your girls.
Yeah, I'm like,
all of them.
you're forced to be in this interview because you're my friend. So
you know what? But that's how they're a good friend.
Yeah.
They'll do it for you.
Yes.
So that's great.
So eventually, I'm hoping to pass the baton on to a social media manager or some sort, because then just take a little bit off my plate. Like I love giving the ideas, but I'm like, I hate having to be in every video.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. It's just gonna take some time. Hopefully get some employees under our belt and expand. That's the goal, and I'm excited.
Well, and I love that as big of an influencer as you are, you still have the normal growing pains of a small brand.
That's what people don't understand. I think people think an influencer launches a brand, you're probably making tons of money, you're probably this and that, and it's actually no, it takes time. I feel like even people think influencer, I'm like, I'm not an influencer, I'm a regular gal. I'm not, it just feels weird to me. I don't know. It just doesn't seem authentic. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it's definitely been a grind. I have the same pains as anyone else starting a business. And I do have an advantage as far as I have a platform, and I was able to collaborate on a launch, whereas most businesses are probably spending 10 to 20,000, and I didn't have to, certain things like that. But so you do have advantages, but it's also I'm just a regular startup like anyone else. I'm trying my best over here.
I think that is so cool though. And from my perspective, I'm I am excited to call you in a year and be okay, so how's the growing pains? What's going on?
Yes.
And I think that's what's exciting is to talk to someone who is so experienced, and figuring it out still.
Yes.
There's so much beauty and just so
it
much.
Is.
Yeah. It's
and
amazing.
it makes it fun. It's you have to enjoy the process. That's what I'm trying to do. I have a hard time enjoying the process because I'm I want this now and I want it to do good. And I'm if only people just saw, it's more just getting it in front of eyes, and you just got to learn how to love the process, because that's what you'll look back on and be like, oh my gosh, remember when we were first starting and I wanted to pull my hair out and I wanted to die a couple times? That was so fun. You're when you're in the thick of it, you're oh my gosh,
Yeah.
So, you just got to enjoy all the moments, I think. And that's what I'm trying to tell myself right now. I'm just enjoy, it's going to be good. I know it's going to do well, and I'm manifesting, because it's a great product. So how could it not do well,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I believe in it. Full throttle.
Well, I'm on board now. So
I know, if there's anything that I've learned from this is we trust you. We trust you as a person, as a brand. And I'm so excited to try this product.
Yes.
So
I'm excited for you guys to try it.
Thank you so much for coming
course.
today. This has just been so fun. And
I've had so much fun.
You're just such a light. So thank you so much. And I'm excited to see all the things kind of come out and launch. And
I know. You have a couple months coming up.
Yes. So let me know if you guys ever need to restock. I will hook you up with some gummies.
Thank you. That was so fun. So
thank you.
That was great.
Of course.
Maximize your sales team's potential with Volcanic Retail University. Our courses cover everything from foundational retail knowledge to advanced strategies for established brands. Go to university.volcanicretail.io and use code RWG for 30% off.